Welcome to the Real-Time Storytime by Robert R. Ricks. We will get this thing started pretty soon. What I need for you guys right now is just to hold tight. We need to allow people to show up because this show is nothing without the viewers. You see, I require keywords or phrases that you will give me, and I will craft a story based off these keywords. I have about 2.5 minutes to create the story. And then after I create the story, I have to see if I got all of the keywords in, at least 10 of them. We try to have at least 10 to 14 keywords, and I attempt to get all of them in, but if I can get at least 10, it's a good day. Now, I know you guys are going to have some really crazy ones. Now, I do need to warn any new viewers. The existing crew that comes here on a regular basis are filthy, nasty motherfuckers with foul language. If the language is going to be a problem, you might want to check out now, because these stories, 9 times out of 10, are extremely vulgar, sometimes violent, oftentimes very weird, sometimes funny. Alright, we'll get this thing started pretty soon. Hang tight.
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Yo, what's up, Sitches? It's your boy, Robert R. Ricks, Angry Jackalope in the motherfucking his house. Alright, this is the real-time story time. Let's see. Looks like we get a request for a superhero theme tonight. Yeah, we could do that. We could put some kind of a superhero slant to it. Let's go ahead and say what's up to some of the usual suspects in here. We got Paula, we got Backwoods, we got Vixen, we got Garen, we got Lyrilope. Alright. So, for you folks who are listening for the very first time, potentially on a podcast, the way that this works is the viewers that are here during the live show give me some keywords or some phrases, and I attempt to take those and put them in a story. We try to get about 10 in here, 10 to 14 keywords or phrases, and what will happen is I will play for the folks that are here right now a sound. They will hear a sound and see a sign that says, please give us your words. They'll give some words. I'll write those words down. Then I have a couple of minutes to go ahead and try to create a story. Hey y'all, just tracking this monster hurricane that is leveling. Yeah, I know, Yak. I know quite a few of my viewers that are on here right now actually live in Florida. And we got, what's his name? Dorian, going bananas right now. Last I heard it was a Cat 6. So hopefully that's not going to be too bad of a situation. So I know everybody's kind of sitting and watching, so we'll see what happens. So let's go ahead and get the show started here.
Please submit your words now.
So they're going to go ahead and start sending out some words. And so there'll be a little bit of music in the background here for you podcast folks. And then as they come in, I'll be reading them out loud and jotting them inside of a little book. Rob, do you know what graphene is? No, I don't. But I can always look it up. Okay, so Vixen has soul-stealing sirens. Which is kind of cool. I think earlier... Alright, so we got Iron Man contest. Hey, Backwoods, did you want to keep that double D jogging midget in there? Popeye character, okay. Alright. Yeah, your double D jogging midget, okay. Double D jogging midget. Uh-oh. What happened? Sound cut out. Oh, there it is. A graphene hero costume. I don't know what a graphene is, but so while I'm jotting the stuff down, if you would let me know what graphene is. Lead weighted boots, okay. Captain Ass Blaster, okay. Captain Ass Blaster. I need 3 more. Oh, maybe not. Devastation. Okay. Devastation. Devastation. I need at least 2 more. Let's see, make sure I didn't miss anything. Still Ceiling, Iron Man, Popeye, Graphene Hero Costume. Do what it's going to do and get it done with. Yeah. So yeah, throw out 2 more for me, guys, and then we've got our words. And while the rest of those words are coming in, Garen, if you could let me know what graphene is. Actually, I could probably just look it up on this other machine while I'm waiting on those last 2 words. I will look up graphene. Graphene, right? Oh no, E-N-E. Graphene. E-N-E. Graphene. Graphene. Crystal allotrope of carbon with 2-dimensional properties. As carbon atoms densely packed at a regular atomic scale. Chicken wire. Oh, hexagonal pattern. Each atom has 4 bonds. Okay, cool. I got it. Let's see. Ensure. Wonder Cooter. Wonder Cooter. Hey, Yak, on that ensure. Are you talking ensure like the food, or ensure like to make sure that something happens? Let's see. Because ensure is that adult nutritional drink, right? So I just want to make sure that's what you were going for there? If so, then I think we've got our stuff here. Let's see. Paul says graphene is the thinnest material known to man at 1 atom thick. It's also incredibly strong, about 200 times stronger than steel. Outstanding. Alright, so I will assume that Yak, your Ensure is going to be that adult nutritional drink. Since that's what I think. Oh no, the word Ensure. Okay, so you want that. Okay. Alright. Okay. Let's see. Yes. Okay. The word. Gotcha. Word. And then Rattlesnake Arms. Okay. Rattlesnake Arms. Okay. So here's what we've got. We've got Soul Stealing Sirens, Iron Man Contest, Popeye, the actual character, Double D Jogging Midget, a Graphene Hero Costume, Lead Weighted Boots, Captain Ass Blaster, Devastation, Ensure, Wonder Cooter, and Rattlesnake Arms. So those are the words that I get to work with today. Yay, me. And we're also going to go with a superhero slant, which I kind of probably would have had to have done anyway with Captain Ass Blaster, Wonder Cooter, and yeah, and a Graphene Hero Costume. Those regardless would have led me to do a superhero themed show anyway. But that being said, let's pick some music that's going to be appropriate for this, shall we? So I will have a couple of minutes to figure out a story, and oops, yeah, let's do this. Let's go ahead and take that off. There we go. All right, let's come back here, come over here, and let's use this one. Yeah, this seems kind of heroic, I think. Dun, 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 dun. All right, let me figure out a story real quick here. All right. So, I think we are ready to rock and roll. I have some notes right down there in the bottom. Not a lot of notes, just a couple of things just to have some names and things like that to use as a reference as we get started here. Now, for you folks that are listening to this on the podcast, again, the words are Soul Stealing Sirens, Iron Man Contest, Popeye, the actual character, Double D Jogging Midget, a graphene hero costume, lead-weighted boots, Captain Ass Blaster, Devastation, Insure, Wonder Cooter, and Rattlesnake Arms. Okay? Now, whenever I use the words for anybody who's watching the show after the fact, you'll see this flash on the screen here. For you folks listening on a podcast, you're just going to have to remember those words. There are no audio dings or anything of that nature that detracts from the story. So you're just going to have to remember that. Okay? So that's going to be it. Let's see. And I will get this thing started here. Everything's there. Everything's good. All right. Let's get this story started. The night was cold. It was always cold. At least it felt that way to me. But then it could also be the costume. The cloak that I wore seemed to draw power from the darkness. Nighttime was my time. I would fight crime sometimes during the day, but I wasn't as powerful. I didn't let anybody in on this. This was my weakness in a way. Not that light bothered me. No, I liked the light. It's just I drew power from the darkness. I don't know why. It just was that way. I crouched on the ceiling, on the roof, looking down. My sidekick, he was leaning back, precariously at the edge. He was watching me. What are you staring at? Man, I'm just trying to understand something. Maybe you can enlighten me? Why is it that you always want to go out in the wee hours when most normal motherfuckers is sleeping? Because that's when crime is at its peak. Yeah, I get that. I really do. It's just, I don't know, man. It's just, I really ain't digging this whole sidekick shit, you know. I could go out and whoop ass myself. I nodded. He was pretty powerful. He did have skills, but he was green. I shook my head. After everything that happened, you do understand. I need to look after you. I need to make sure nothing happens again. Like, I let it trail off. He nodded. He understood. Most of the new recruits understood. The death of Star was still raw. They felt it, and I felt it most of all, because she was my responsibility. But I allowed her arrogance and my stupidity to lead to her demise. There was no way I was going to allow that to happen again. Listen, Red. Why do you always insist on calling me Red? You know that's not my superhero name. I looked at him, shook my head. You know, most heroes try to hide their identity. What with families at risk and all that. Yeah, well, I'm kind of fortunate in that I ain't got no family, if you read my report. I shrugged. Not yet. But there could be something that happens later. Families sometimes grow. Yeah, not me, Chief. I love 'em and leave 'em. That's the full extent of my abilities. I'm not about to settle down. I'm digging this shit right here. And I ain't not gonna get locked down with no 9 to 5 daddy routine. You know what I'm saying? I'm loving this shit. I nodded. After the event, heroes and villains were popping up out of the woodwork. There were a few of us old-timers. Been around decades or so. None of us understanding why abruptly our powers had manifested. Mine had happened to me right in the middle of a competition. I was running first leg of the Ironman contest. Suddenly felt a searing pain. Shot from the back of my skull all the way down to the base of my spine and then just shot through my legs. The pain was something unlike anything I had ever experienced before. I landed hard on the ground. I felt hands reaching down to help me back up. And as I did, I couldn't help but think I was hallucinating, since one of the hands that had helped me up was from a double D jogging midget. She, oh, I don't know why. The words are not working. Okay. Keywords aren't working anymore, guys. For some odd... Oh, that popped up. Never mind. Double D jogging midget, who later I learned was named Sabrina. She had also gone through a transformation. Before I fell 15 yards back, she was normal. She stood almost 5'7" originally, but her form had shrunk to that of a dwarf. But all of the other attributes of her body had stayed the same, which is why she looked odd, and I had given her the nickname Double D Jogging Midget. Later, she would be called Tumbler. She had the ability to spin and flip and build up speed, and she became a human cannonball in a way. She was also an old-timer. I stared back at Red. I like to call you Red because I feel it's more respectful than a moniker you wish to be called by. Look, man, ain't nothing wrong with being called the Mighty Redneck, okay? Because that's what I is, a Mighty Redneck. How many rednecks you know can lift up a tank and throw it 100 yards with one arm? I don't know none. Do you? I shook my head. None that would admit to it. Look, man, being a redneck, that's a badge of honor, motherfucker. Something you ain't gonna never understand. I nodded. Suddenly, I felt a tingling from my feet, shot up my arms, into my neck, into my... Oh, I could see it. The darkness was feeding me information. There's a woman, 100 yards, that way, needs our help. Already on it, Chief. He jumped. I watched him. He fell 15 floors, landed, created a small impact crater. I shook my head. Damn it. I really wish you wouldn't do that. He tapped his earpiece and chuckled. Just because you have to take it the slow way doesn't mean I have to. Yeah, but you forget. We have to pay for the damages. I have to write that ground up on a report. Yeah. Look, we're saving somebody. Let's get going. I watched him break into a sprint. He was also pretty fast. I searched around, thought about using the shadows, but then thought again. Every time I would shift into the shadows to appear somewhere else, it felt like something was there in the shadows, watching me. Again, not something I cared to share with anybody, but it scared me. So instead, I went to the dark edge of the alleyway that was below me. There were no lights, so I was able to reach out, grab the wall, actually through the wall. Wherever the shadows were at, I could manipulate and touch. I crawled down, slowly, carefully. If I would have fell, it would have hurt. Bad. I had it happen once before. Didn't want to have it happen again. So I climbed down. By the time I had gotten to the ground, I could hear him in the headset, chuckling. Let me guess. You're already done. Yeah, this pencil dick motherfucker was trying to rape this guy. I took care of it. Did you? Yeah, I kinda lost control just a little bit. You know, it's really hard to control this strength of mine. Let me guess. Castration? Yeah, you could say that. I think I might have accidentally ripped his stuff off. Oh, great. You know these assholes can sue us, right? Well, I don't think he's gonna be suing nobody because, I think he bled out. Damn it. I walked over, found him, saw the girl. She was in shock. I tapped the headset again. This is base, go ahead. Yeah, we've got a victim here, and we've got a casualty. Could you be more specific on a casualty? Yeah, he's dead. Are you gonna deal with it in a normal way? I'd rather not, but I think litigation would be a bit painful at this point. Understood. We'll get to the girl. That's the one you're talking about? I can see a report coming in from, the Mighty Redneck. Yeah. I glanced over at him. He had his phone out, tapping away at it. He was good with the phone. No doubt about it. I had a laptop inside the car. I used that for reporting. He was faster on cell phone. Yeah. Send medical. Ensure that nothing happens to her. Make sure she gets all the help she needs. Red, how far along was the attack? He didn't get in, if that's what you're asking. There was no penetration. I kind of caught him mid-pump right before, he was going to seal the deal. Understood. I looked at the body. It was bloody. I could feel the warmth draining into the ground, into the shadows. I shook my head, closed my eyes, felt with the shadows, felt it reach up onto the body, pull it down into the shadows. I looked back. There was not a trace left of the attacker. You know what, man? I always meant to ask you, where do the bodies go? I don't know. But you get rid of them, so I would, I would have thought you'd know. Yeah, I don't go and hang out in there, so I'm not quite sure. I lied. Again, another one of the weak things. I had spent a little time in the darkness, and there's good reasons that I felt like something was watching me. Once, I had been battling an opponent, sent him to the shadows, went in thinking I would fight him there, and when I found him, he was half devoured. No arms, no legs, no head, just the torso. The bite marks were very distinct, very terrifying. I vowed not to spend too much time in the shadows. Anyway, I think it... Oh, I looked at my watch. He looked at his. Both of our watches going off. There was a code red alert. Shit. Oh, hell yeah, man. Looks like we're going to have a busy fucking night. Where's it saying? No, the tower. Wait, the tower? Yeah, the tower. Oh, shit, man. Every time that some bitch... I know. When it goes off, there's new ones. I sighed. All right, let's go to the car. It'll be faster. He nodded. We got into the car. We started driving. We were heading to the tower and my mind wandered. Last time we were at the tower, things were a little weird. And I think I need to explain a little bit. The tower is not a man-made building. We call it the tower because it, as well as 15 others, had sprung up around a planet. That was the genesis of our powers. These towers suddenly had materialized in the middle of these different locations, and people within a certain radius began to manifest powers. We couldn't understand why. We couldn't understand the how. We just ran with it. We arrived at the base of the tower. There was 5 women standing there. And I looked at Red, and he looked at me. Aw, shit, man. Backup, maybe? You see, you're getting smarter. I pressed a button, a little blue button inside of the car. It would send out kind of an SOS. It was more of a, hey, everybody drop what the fuck you're doing. Come and hang out with us a little bit. We got some situations to deal with. I pressed the button and waited. The 5 women looked a little dazed. There was one in the middle. She was huge. Her legs had kind of a weird reptilian sheen to them. Her arms also had kind of iridescent scales to them, sometimes shifting green, then sometimes shifting to a brown, then shifting back to a blue. The arms just seemed to slither a little bit. Not quite sure what I was looking at. 3 of them, off to the right, stood eerily close to each other, almost as if they felt compelled to be physically in contact with each other. That left just one, and she had a really odd body type. She was very muscled, but the muscles on her were selective. Her hips jutted out, her thighs jutted out, and her calves were massive. Everything in between those parts on her body, though, were very, very small, thin. I watched her deltoids and her biceps. Her biceps were small, but her forearm muscles were exaggerated and large, reminding me of Popeye, the character. All right, Red. I suspect the one that looks like Popeye is strong. She might be one for you to play with. What are you going to do? I'm going to walk up and talk with Snake Girl, see what's up. If they're not aggressive and try to attack us, perhaps we can bring them back to the base and indoctrinate them a little bit, help them with their abilities. Look at you, man. Always trying to save motherfuckers. I see what's going on. That's kind of cool, man. Alright, I'm going to go ahead over there and deal with Wonder Cooter, and like you suggested, and you go talk with, Snakey. Alright, let's go do this, man. He walked over, kept a safe distance between he and her, and I approached the Snake Girl. Hello, my name is Justice. That there is the Mighty Redneck. The Snake Girl slithered a laugh. Did you say redneck? Her voice was weird. It had a distinct echo to it. It played in my ears. The words danced around and tickled inside and went into my mind. I found myself liking her, like an old friend. I smiled. Yeah, I know. I just call him Red for short. Yes, I likes that better. So, since we're all friends here, Why don't you tell me what happened to you guys in front of the tower? Did you come out of the tower, or were you in range of the tower? Now, this was an important question, one that needed to be answered. Typically speaking, the area of infestation or manifestation, the government had set boundaries, moved everybody about a quarter mile away from it. If they had happened to venture close enough to it and had gotten transformed and went to the tower as it beckoned and called to them, as it did all of the new heroes or new powers, then there was hope. If instead they had come out of the tower, well, now, that never ended well. That was always problematic, because it seemed like whatever came out of the tower was hell-bent on massive devastation. So it's an important question. Why do you ask such silly questions? Because it's important. I need to know what I'm dealing with here. Are you a friend, or are you a foe? I felt embarrassed asking that question. I felt bad. I felt as if I was insulting a friend. You question me. I thought we were so close. Yeah, well, we wait a minute. As I felt it in my mind, the shadows around me strengthened. I felt the tingling in my legs as they stabbed into my calf, kind of reinforcing me. My mind was like an iron trap at that point. Whatever she was doing wasn't going to influence me any longer. Wow, that's interesting. You know, it's too bad. What's too bad? It's too bad that you tried to do that. She looked inquisitive, and I didn't let her know. But a mass of shadow that was right at the base of the tower, I'm focused on. I shaped it, and I turned it into a giant mallet, and I slammed down on her. And I thought it was going to be easy peasy, but at the last possible second, she slid to the left, outside of the range, and I watched as her hair, her fingertips, and her arms all shifted into different types of snakes. In fact, her arms, as they shot forward at me, aiming to bite me, were that of rattlesnakes. The woman in front of me was attacking me with rattlesnake arms. Again, I reached, shifted, took the shadows, bent them to my will. They rose up in sharp prongs, penetrating each of her arms and her fingertips. All of the heads of the snakes were penetrated, and she screamed out in agony, and I was enough. This is enough. I pulled the shadows up around her, slammed it, trapped her, pulled her down. She vanished into the shadows. I looked over at Red. He was at it. He was battling like a champ. He threw a punch. She took the punch. She threw a punch to him. He took the punch. They were giving and taking best they could. I felt something slam against my chest. Luckily for me, I had a graphene hero costume that was tougher than steel. The impact that hit me, though, wasn't quite physical, but I felt it. I looked. I could see the three. They had locked arms, and they were blasting me with some kind of energy. I again pulled the shadows up and tried something that I hadn't thought about until that moment. I let their blast hit the shadows, and then I opened up a shadow behind them, and the energy that they projected forward shot out from behind them and hit them. They fell forward, surprised. It was amazing. I had never thought to try that. Red saw it. Holy shit, man. That was badass. That's fucking badass, man. I can't believe that shit. Get 'em. Get 'em. Get them fucking soul-stealing sirens. Fuck 'em up. Fuck 'em up. I nodded. He was still battling. The three, arms broken from each other, not broken like shattered or anything, but their links broken. They seemed smaller. They seemed more human-like. The one in the middle still looked hell-bent on fighting. The other two, though, looked terrified, looked confused. I reached forward with the shadows, cupped the two on either side, threw them to the side. Not enough to crush them or anything else, but just enough to knock them out or to fuck them up bad enough that they wouldn't be able to run and connect back with the center one. And as I watched, the center one, eyes went from anger to fear. I had figured something out. What it was, I had no idea. But I knew that she needed the other two to do whatever that energy blast was. So I pressed the attack. I didn't want to kill her. I didn't want to kill any of them, really. But Rattlesnake Arms was kind of the exception. The way she attacked me, the way that she was coming at me with the venom, scared me. And so I had to deal with her as quickly and as painlessly as I could. But what could I do? The bitch was trying to kill me. This one also had tried to kill me. But now she was powerless. So I decided I would just deal with her in a different way. I opened the shadows on the ground. She fell forward, and right before she passed into it, I closed it off, severing her legs at the knees. She screamed out. I noted that the wound wasn't bleeding. It had cauterized almost instantly, and she sat there screaming, her legs gone. And I knew I wouldn't have to deal with her because the other two, the ones that I had separated from her, made no effort to connect with her again. In fact, they had both curled into a fetal position and started crying hysterically. I noted that they all looked very, very similar. Not like twins, but obviously some blood relatives, perhaps her sisters. In any event, I turned my attention back towards Red. He was battling. He was doing it. He had an interesting costume, to say the least. It was overalls, but they were also made of the same material as my suit. The underlying shirt, which looked to be like a wife beater, also was made of the same material. He had boots. He had gloves, which was the only thing that made him look somewhat heroic. And then, for whatever fucking reason, on the back of his overalls, he had the smallest, and I do mean smallest, of capes I had ever seen on a hero in my entire life. The cape couldn't have extended further than his hand. It was roughly 7 inches long, 3 inches wide. Every time I saw that stupid fucking cape, it made me laugh. When I had asked him, Red, why do you have such a small cape? He looked at me and said, Dude, have you ever seen how unwieldy those sumbitches are? You could trip on them. Somebody could trap you, wrap you up in it. Man, capes is bullshit. I ain't fucking with no capes. But I do think they is a little bit cool to look at, so I came up with my own style. You know what I'm saying? I put a little teeny tiny cape on the overalls. Makes me fucking super badass. I shrugged. We all did. The rest of the team. It was actually pretty funny. So there he was, battling the Popeye chick, just going toe to toe with her. He had her in a headlock. He had her from the back. All of a sudden, she leaned forward and she let this fucking foul blast shoot out of her ass and just blasted him. He flew back and he landed hard and he was laughing his ass off. "What's so funny, Red? We got a Captain Ass Blaster here. She tried to fucking kill me with a fart, man. You gotta admit that shit's fucking hilarious." I shook my head. "That's not funny. Deal with it." "All right, man, all right." He got up. He jumped forward, kicked her in the head. She batted at him, caught him with a mean backhand. He flew past me. As he got almost beyond my reach, I grabbed him, snatched, spun with it, launched him back towards her. He flew true to aim, bashed her in the face. I saw blood fly into the sky. She took the hit like a champ, though. She fell back, wiped her mouth, spit the blood, grinned at him. There were shattered teeth, but she did not give a fuck. He squared off with her again. I thought about getting in it, and then I waited. "Why don't you take your fucking lead-weighted boots and stick it straight up her ass?" "I'm working on it, fucking Captain Obvious. Jesus fucking..." He got clocked. She hit him hard. Now he spit a tooth out. He grinned at it. "Oh, baby, I like the way you hit." She threw another punch. He jumped to the side, caught it, slammed one fist, perfectly angled, on her elbow. She screamed out as he shattered her arm. "Now stop, girl. The fun's over. This shit's getting out of hand now." She just glared at him. She swung with the other arm. He repeated the movement, this time opposite. I was proud of him. I had taught him that martial arts style. He took to it like a fish to water. I had warned him about using it on others, on lefties. The move wouldn't work unless you reversed it, which he nimbly did, and he executed perfectly right in front of me. Again, she screamed out, both of her arms wrecked. "Girl, next thing I'm gonna do is break your motherfucking neck. Drop to your fucking knees right now. It's done." She glared at us. She nodded, dropped to her knees. He stepped behind her, zip-tied her arms gently, as he knew they were shattered. It didn't matter. The pain was still very, very acute for her. I tapped the headpiece. "Cancel the backup. We got it covered." "Okay, I'm sending the dismissal. You guys have it under control?" "You tell me. We're right in front of the fucking tower. Cameras everywhere, right?" "Yeah, there's a problem, though. All the cameras, they're not showing you guys." "What?" "Repeat that." "Yeah, the cameras, they don't see anything going on there. The tower looks normal." Bullshit. There's blood everywhere. I looked around. I see bits of teeth. I saw the woman with the legs severed, sitting there, screaming still. Please verify again. We are at the tower, downtown New York City." "Yeah, I'm telling you, boss. I don't see you on the cameras." I turned and looked at the cameras. They were lit up. They were green. "What the fuck are you saying?" I looked at Red. He looked at me nervous. "Hey man, what would make the cameras not show shit?" I looked. "Let me try something. There's a camera further down the street, right?" "Yeah." "I'm going to cause a disturbance with the shadows. Tell me if you pick it up on the monitors." She nodded. "Okay, go for it." I did. "Yeah, I see it." You can see that, and you can sense that. But you had the alerts of these down here. Yes and no. We did get an alert, same alerts you guys got on the watches, but I didn't generate that alert. You didn't? No. Wait a minute. If you didn't generate the alert, who did? There was suddenly a disturbance in our headsets. Some kind of a statical discharge of some type shot through my ears. I tore the headset off. I looked at Red. He did the same. What the fuck? I don't know, man. Let's get the fuck out of here. Let's let the fucking juniors come in and clean this shit up. I nodded. Yeah, let's get the fuck out of here. We went to walk back to the car. We slammed into something invisible. What the fuck is this? I pounded on it. I don't know, man. It's fucking hard as shit, though. Use when your shadow's on it. Yeah. I went to push the shadow outside of the barrier. It didn't work anymore. I can't seem to get beyond it. Bullshit, man. Go lower. Go lower. Go like subways or something. I sensed shadows deeper underground. I pushed with those as well. No, I can't. We heard clapping. We turned. The tower, which normally was faceless, had nothing on it, just a smooth exterior. A doorway had opened. A man stood there smiling, clapping his hands. Lovely, he said. Uh-oh, said I. Red said, who the fuck is that? I looked at the man. His skin was metallic. His eyes were metallic. But there was a red sheen to the metal. Oh, fuck me. I walked forward and looked at him. You're supposed to be dead. Yes, I know I'm supposed to be dead. And yet, here I am. I stared at him. This is not going to end well for you, friend. Oh, so you still consider me friend? I didn't want to do it, but you did. What's going on? Let's just say the dawn of heroes is at an end. It is now time for evil to rise. I looked around the tower and other figures started to come out. I stared forward. Red swallowed. Oh, fuck me. I nodded. I think this is gonna be bad, kid. He looked at me. I looked forward. I counted at least 200 people, maybe more. Few of them were lighting up their power. Well, let's do what we can do. I'm with you, Justice. Let's handle this shit. And then we began the inevitable demise, the inevitable battle that would go down in history. It really was the dawn of the villains, and we were the harbingers of that event. All right, I think I might end it right there. That's a good spot for, little cliffhanger of sorts. So yeah, the words that we had to do was Soul Stealing Sirens, Iron Man Contest, Popeye, Double D, Jogging Midget, Graphene Hero Costume, Lead Weighted Boots, Captain Ass Blaster, Devastation, Ensure, Wonder Cooter, and Rattlesnake Arms. So I actually had to create a redneck superhero, which I thought was actually pretty fucking funny. I liked it a lot, actually. I definitely would like to revisit this at some point and actually do something with the Mighty Redneck because he's fucking funny as shit. And Justice, I don't know. I kind of was robbing from a few different dark characters, kind of like a little bit of Raven, a little bit of Cloak, from Cloak and Dagger. Even a little bit of Spawn and some other characters that kind of play and dabble with dark energy and dark forces and stuff like that, and some kind of an ominous force there, right? But yeah, I think when you deal with heroes and stuff like that, you could always have fun with it. And I wanted to kind of create. So, An Amazing Power is a story that I actually have slotted to work out. It's a little bit different, but there's a couple of hero stories that I've been playing with, and this kind of touched on one story arc. So it may or may not end up being this way, but I definitely think no matter what, the Mighty Redneck and Justice will, be in appearance again. So that'll be fun. But that's it. So, we're at 56 minutes in on the story. That was pretty good. I just wanted to remind everybody also that Harry's Situation, which was one of the very first early Real-Time Storytime episodes, is available as a novella. You can find it on Amazon. You can find it on Barnes & Noble. You can find all kinds of good information. You could also go to realtimestorytime.com. There's links there. There's also, if you go to robertrricks.com, I believe when you go there, you could see a list of the different stories that I'm working on. If there's links to other stuff, you can go and follow those. And so, just fun things. For all you guys over in Florida, please, please, please be safe. Make sure your preps are good. Keep your head on a swivel. Hopefully things will not be too bad, but, we're going to have to wait and see. So be careful. That's going to be it for now. I will be doing this again next week. So, same bat time, same bat channel. I look forward to doing it again. Thanks you guys for coming. And even though most of you guys are sitting over in the Florida area, you still contributed and jumped in on the story, even though, you got other things that you could be keeping eyes on and everything else. So I appreciate the fuck out of it. I hope you guys have a great day. And I will see you guys next week. If you like this, make sure you like it, share it, all this other stuff. I'm trying to infect other people with it, and so hopefully we can start to get more people checking it out. Until then, I will see you guys later. Alright guys, thank you. Bye.
Kultuaten adro